Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be going over 5 heroes that must be nerfed next patch. I mean, honestly, this patch has been forever, but finally on March 6th, we're getting a patch. So I thought I'd talk about 5 heroes that I really desperately hope get nerfed. Partially because I don't like playing against some of the heroes on this list, and partially because I'm done playing some of the heroes on this list. This is why we all love patches. It allows us to not have to pick certain counters because we see Lina every game, or Razor every game. And we don't have to play these heroes every game to preserve our, very precious MMR. So I do want to ask you guys one thing before I get into the video, before I say the 5 heroes that I think must nerf next patch. I want to ask you guys, what hero do you think has to get nerfed next patch? I'm just curious what you guys expect from the patch, what you're hoping for from the patch, and so yeah, comment down below, what hero do you think has to get nerfed next patch? We're pleased to announce today's video sponsor, HelloFresh. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit for a reason. It's easy, customizable, and super affordable. You can pre-portion and optimize your meals just the way you like them and have them delivered at your doorstep. It's cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% cheaper than takeout. Guys, if you want to be on top of your game and get better at Dota 2, you need to take care of your body. HelloFresh ingredients travel from the farm to you in less than a week, and they've got amazing, absolutely broken, delicious seasonal recipes that you can choose from. So do yourself a solid and try HelloFresh today. Go ahead and click our link down below to get a special limited discount and free shipping. All right, so getting into the first hero of the list is actually Drow Ranger. Now, this is one you might not have expected. Maybe you do. Maybe you did expect this and you're sick of dying to Drow Shard and being constantly kited in teamfights. But really, Drow Ranger is a hero I've actually started to hate more than ever very recently, probably within the last few weeks. And the reason why I dislike playing against Drow is largely the laning stage and then the late game. So the laning stage against Drow Ranger is really obnoxious when she's paired with the right heroes. I honestly feel like a lot of the popular 5s, at least in my bracket, I don't know how you guys feel, maybe it's a little bit different where you are, but a lot of the 5s in my bracket are very good with Drow. The main 2, in my opinion, that are very dominant right now are Undying and Treant Protector. I had to play against the Drow Undying lane recently, and that might be one of the least fun lanes of all time, because Drow is a hero that pokes very well if she's not getting run at. That's how the hero works throughout every stage of the game. If you can't get on top of her, she punishes you. And I feel like with Undying, there's just nothing you can do, right? It really feels that way. The best strategy is to drag waves. And if you don't have synergy with your position 4, which you won't, because it's ranked matchmaking, then you're just gonna get destroyed, and that's how it felt like. And so yeah, I hate leaning into these very powerful Drow lanes. And then on top of that, it really does feel like one of those heroes where if you don't play the fight perfect, you get punished. And I think that's why this hero is sitting at about 54% overall win rate throughout all brackets. It's because if you don't get on top of it, it's just the better sniper right now. It has some of the best talents in the game: frost damage at 10, multi-shot cooldown at 15, level 20 multi-shot cooldown at 25 multi-shot waves. I really feel like there's pretty limited, unless I'm mistaken, I feel like there's very few heroes in Dota that have 3 talents in a row that all benefit the same spell. Can you guys name other heroes? I'm trying to think. I feel like there's almost no other hero in the game that has 3 talents in a row that all benefit the same spell. And yet Drow has that with multi-shot, making her honestly a menace in the late game with this one ability. She never has to even commit with auto attacks. She can just use multi-shot from really far away. And if you don't get on top of her, you get hypothermia, which is crazy. That spell is insane, and you just die. All right, getting into the second hero of the list, this is probably no surprise to the majority of you. Honestly, it's not too prevalent at my level, but I actually do think it has to get nerfed. And the hero is Razor. So number 1, I think Razor, it's just one of those heroes that doesn't require enough skill in its current playstyle to be as broken as it is. My big problem with the current value of Razor is that it's just too low skill. It's too low skill, all right? Don't tell me you think, I know all the Razor players are going to come into the comments and defend this hero. You cannot convince me that there is anything special about being a good Razor player. Okay, the only difficult part about this hero potentially is the early game, which I honestly don't feel like gets punished in pubs. I just don't. I don't feel like it gets punished hard enough. And so what is the skill cap of this hero? Everything is just click your buttons and then hope you're stronger. I don't like the best hero in average pubs being click your buttons and hope you're stronger because you have a bloodstone and a shard that does way too much damage. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't, it's very unfun. Maybe you guys disagree. I just feel like every time I see this hero, every time I coach one of my students' games, it could be losing the game. Like, literally, this Razor is poor. He walks into the team fight and they go on him because they don't know any better. Like, sometimes you just gotta kite the guy, or the initiation is very unsynergized. So they'll only go on the Razor with 2 heroes. He isn't gonna die to 2 heroes because he's building 3 defensive items, and then the shard does half of their health or kills one of them. And yeah, I hate the concept of Razor being like that. And one other thing I will say about Razor is I actually think the hero is better than it gets credit for. Might sound insane, but I actually think the hero is very good as a right-click carry as well. Now, I think even as a right-click carry, you should buy your shard, but the general build I think is pretty underrated on this hero is some sort of like Treads, Falcon Blade, Wand into raindrops with clarities, then shard, or BKB then shard. Like, I think the general BKB right-click carry of Razor is very viable. In fact, I talked to my friend about this a while ago, but I think we both agree that, especially in games where you're countered, for instance, like Drow's a pretty good Razor counter because she counters out the lifesteal with hypothermia. If that's the case, just buy BKB. Like, why go Bloodstone? Why double down when the enemy team literally counters you? You know what I mean? I just feel like there's so much value in this hero. There's a lot of value in this shard build. It does way too much damage, and it's too simple. And it's underexplored in my opinion, which might sound crazy, but I really believe this hero is underexplored. I even think you can go Greaves. Like, everyone just rushes Bloodstone because it makes sense and it is very strong. So, like, don't get me wrong, it's a good build, but there's other avenues depending on your matchups that people need to consider. Getting to the third hero, we have Treant Protector. Man, oh God. I don't like Razor, okay? But Treant Protector, in my opinion, is way worse. Maybe you disagree, but Treant Protector does it all. This hero does it all. It's one of the best laners in the game. It defends towers like no other, of course. That's like the main selling point of the hero. And then its team fighting is just insane. Also, it has a really great shard. Like, I don't know if you guys have played Treant with the shard, but the shard, it allows you to turn invis and then root people for 2 seconds if you hit them near a tree. It's very, very powerful. So this hero is definitely first phase pick pan in the pro scene, so it's got plenty of credit, right? Everyone knows this hero is good, but it has to get nerfed. And I really think that my thing about Treant is when the hero is too strong, it just gets picked in every game, and it has this very slow tempo, kind of unfun playstyle. Like, I just prefer, I think you can play Dota in any way. And part of the reason why Dota is a beautiful game is because you can take a lot of routes, you can play heroes in different ways, and you know, there's a lot of different playstyles. But I don't love Treant being like giga powerful, especially for a long period of time, because it gets to the point where I feel like if I don't have a certain select few heroes against it, I just can't push towers. And it becomes this very like monotonous, I just have to keep farming and farming and farming and farming and farming and farming, because if I try to push, the enemy team either A, defends a tower because I'm like low HP because I'm trying to take a tower that won't die, or like I'm just sitting under the tower and I'm gonna get set up on, or they're out farming me because they're across the map farming all the camps, taking, you know, my towers, killing my creeps, getting the outpost, maybe even taking Roche while I'm trying to siege down a tower, right? That's just getting healed up. And so I just hate this playstyle of Treant Protector. And that's why, honestly, in a lot of games, I feel like I have to play Brood as a hero that I kind of like playing in a Treant because at least I can take the tower. DP is a good one. It has a good lane against Treant and can take the tower. So there are answers, and like that's the great part about Dota. Every single one of these heroes on this list has their problem, right? And they have their issues, which is why I don't think they need to be dumpstered. You know, I don't think you have to like ruin Treant Protector. I like Treant Protector. I think it's a cool concept, but when it's a first phase pick ban hero, it just has to be nerfed. It's too good in lane. It synergizes with too many heroes, and living armor, frankly, is just a ridiculous spell at the current moment. 12 armor for 30 seconds just enables some of the most broken heroes in the game to be giga broken. It enables Lina too much, Razor too much, Drow is actually a pretty good one, Death Prophet, Leshrac, like Leshrac and DP with Treant, ugh. That's all I'm gonna say. Getting into number 2, we have Lina. I'm really not gonna say that much. This hero's win rate in average pubs is actually pretty low. I think it's because it like requires you to be really efficient, and it's kind of bad in early game team fights. So, and it requires actually quite high mechanical skill. No offense, you know, you guys are great. I understand you're Game Leap subs, so you're probably the best player in every single game, no matter what. You know what I mean? At least you think that. But yeah, Lina, it just does too much damage and it has not enough losing lanes. It's similar to Treant, where I feel like I have to pick a very select few heroes to just do okay. And, you know, that's all right in like captain's mode maybe, sometimes. Even then, Lina's banned in most games, so there's definitely a problem. But at least then I can counterpick the Lina, right? If it gets picked early, like if I have an idea, I can pick it. But in pubs, it's like you don't even get to see the hero you're playing against most of the time. So they second phase Lina and it's like, all right, damn, I picked Pangolier offlane. I guess I'm going to have 0 net worth at minute 10 if the Lina knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? She just clicks you the entire landing stage. And so yeah, Lina is just one of those heroes where right now, it's just kind of, I don't want to say it's unfun. I actually like watching Lina. I think the hero's pretty cool to watch, and I love this carry Lina. Like, it's a pretty new thing, you know what I mean? So it's something that is overall exciting to me. Like, I like watching the carry Lina games because it's a pretty explosive hero in both ways. You know, it does a ton of damage. It can carry games really, really, really hard, almost more than any other hero, but it also dies like really easy in the early game, and we've seen Team Liquid kind of take advantage of that. So I've sort of liked the progression of Lina throughout at least the Lima Major. It's been pretty fun to watch. However, I definitely think in pubs, especially with how pubs are set up and drafting is set up in pubs, Lina is just straight up unfun and definitely giga broken if the player knows what they're doing. And finally is Broodmother. I'm not gonna lie, maybe I put this on the list a little bit, maybe on number 1 because I'm a bit biased. I feel like I picked this hero a little bit too much in pubs, but yeah, Broodmother it's funny enough, I don't even think you guys maybe see it like never in your pubs because it's hard to play, but trust me, it needs to be nerfed. You don't understand. You do not understand what this hero does. All right, you really don't. It has like practically no losing lane matchups if you know what you're doing. And then it just takes over the map. It's like the best vision hero in the game. It buys aura items and gets them faster than most heroes in the game. It solo kills the majority of the Dota 2 hero pool. And it takes your towers like no other. The problem is with pubs is it can fall off, especially if you go aura items and your team doesn't synergize well and you don't know what to do. It can fall off and people don't farm fast enough. They don't know how to protect the spiders and like really what angles to look for in fights. So it has its flaws like every other hero, but man, a good Brood player right now is just unbearable. Like, I'm telling you, if I last pick Brood in every pub, I definitely would be high MMR. And like, that sounds like a cope, but I'm not saying that. Like, I actively don't just like last pick Brood every game because it's just like, if I picked Brood in every stompy Brood game, it would make the games very, I mean, obviously it's not a free win. Nothing's like that. It's never like that. But man, I swear I'd have like a 65-70% win rate if I'm specifically picking Brood every game last that I think it's broken in. Because if the enemy doesn't have the right heroes to deal with the spiders, you take the tier 1 at like minute 8, you take the tier 2 at minute like 13, you have a Greaves at minute 13, and you have a Pipe at minute 18, and then it's like you have these 2 broken ore items that are like definitely very good right now. And they, by the way, both of the items enable the spiders. Like Pipe, it's a great item right now, and it makes your spiders not insta-die. So it's like too good. You know what I mean? Like your damage item is Pipe. Which is like, you know what I mean? It's like your damage item is Pipe. Not kidding. Like I buy Pipe when I think it's like a pretty good Brood game. If they don't have like Pango or Mars or Kunkka or like Ember, the physical damage heroes that kill the spiders that way, if they don't have that, I buy a Pipe to do damage. But I have a Pipe, gives my team Pipe. All right, you get the point. Nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the 5 heroes that must be nerfed next patch. Yeah, I love making these videos for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned quite a bit as well. I feel like there's definitely bits and pieces of information that you can hopefully apply to your games when it comes to drafting, map understanding, etc., about these heroes as well. But yeah, let me know what heroes you think have to get nerfed next patch as well in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!